Hi, everybody. Welcome to Brownstones. People slowly coming on. I just wanted to let you know that we're going to start around 2:15 as soon as Roxanne's ready. Is she? Oh, yes, she is. Hi, Rox. And I just want to let you know that we're going to have, this is how we're going to do. We're going to have like about 10 opens. And then we're going to have features 1 and 2. That'll be Claudia and Arthur. And then we're going to go for like a 10-15 minute break. And then when Roxy returns, we're going to do about the next 8 or 9 opens. Then we're going to have feature number 3, who will be Anton. And then we're going to end with the rest of the open. So feel free to use the chat. The chat room is for like positive feedback on poetry. We don't want any arguments here. Keep it friendly because this is supposed to be a safe space for poets to mingle. And if you have any books or upcoming features, please feel free to post it in the chat room. And we keep on talking. We love to hear you and keep talking.
Well, now I'm self-conscious. I can't do it anymore.
It's okay.
I just want to say hi, everyone.
Hi, Claudia.
Hi,
Lombardi. It's great to see you.
Poets, Adela.
Hey.
Yeah. Frank. Very
Look at the
fun.
Stefano's there, but I can't see you.
Happy
Amazing.
Memorial Day. Happy Catterday.
Awesome. Thanks for being here.
And you made it on, Maria. Good for you. Yay.
I see Harvey Sauce is here, and that's a picture of him looking very young and spry.
Hey, Harvey.
Hi, Harvey.
Nikki Williams here. Caroline.
Look,
We have Canada in the house. We have Paris in the house.
I'm going to say Mona Zamfirescu. That's on your name, but welcome.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi. There's our Roxy.
And what about Frank Rubino down there on the bottom?
Yeah, Frank is here.
Frank.
All serious, reading from his book.
Hi, Olivia.
hello.
Hi, everyone.
Indy, nice to see you. Hi. Didn't see you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
There's more people are coming. Oh, Ken is coming on. Yay. Ron is here. Yay. We're getting people. People are coming on now. Yay. Hey, Andy. Okay, for
Oh, I
those.
see I was muted.
Okay, so
Hello,
Just
hello,
one-
everyone.
we're going to start around 2:15-ish. 2:15. As soon as Roxy gives me the high sign, we're going to start.
Okay.
And once again, keep your poetry like about 3 minutes. Beginning, we're gonna have 10 opens, and then we're gonna come on features 1 and 2, which will be Claudia and Arthur. And then we're gonna have a break. If you're registered, you automatically are on the open. Leah,
Got it.
I don't have you on. What did you register as?
Leah, L-I. Oh, it asks for my official name. It's probably Rosalia.
Oh, that's it, Rosalia. Oh, okay. Let me put you
I
on the
never
list.
use that.
Okay, because I sent you the live stream. Oh, okay. So you're Rosalia. What's your?
Di Stefano, but I use the name Leah in the registration. It asks for my official name. So
Yeah, but well, Leah, we never knew you had an official name. This is a
Well-
it's a big reveal for me.
Actually, Leah is also my official name. It's like this is the first time I've been asked for that if it isn't like related to income tax or something. I mean, like
Yeah,
what?
because I go on another surname when you sign in, when you say, I mean, that's my legal name.
Mhm.
Okay,
Rosalia,
so now my
so
secret's
you are
secret.
Rosalia, the silver harpist?
Nope.
I don't,
I
What's my
do,
who
name?
are you? I don't
I'm
know
really
who you
good at a
are.
lot of things, but I do not play the harp.
So I don't know who you. Trying to find your name on the list.
I got the obviously I got the link and everything.
I don't know, did you pay as you do for
Yeah, I paid. In
PayPal?
fact, I
Was it- was
think I may have even paid more than once because the first time I tried to pay with PayPal and
Was it through a credit card? That's why I didn't get it, probably.
yeah,
That's why I didn't see it on the
I
list.
paid with both. In other words, I say in my email that I got receipts for both paying with my credit card and PayPal. Because with the PayPal thing, it was just spinning and spinning and spinning for,
Okay, because I don't have you on the list. That's why I didn't get the information. Because usually from PayPal, I get.
I know, but it was weird. It was like
Mm.
PayPal said it didn't recognize me. I use it all the time.
Okay, I don't
And
know.
it was just spinning and spinning and then the wait
Apologize for
for,
that, but I
yeah,
don't know.
waiting for to be
PayPal is
accepted
PayPal. What the fuck
was
next
just
thing? Sorry,
spinning,
whatever.
spinning, spinning, spinning. So then I thought, okay, let me try a regular credit card. So I did that and I got a receipt. I think I got a receipt for that too, so.
PayPal had some trouble. I had a similar situation, I think, earlier this morning with the spinning. Hopefully it's just temporary PayPal specific, but yeah, same.
Yeah, okay.
But
So
something
anyway, I'll have a $5 credit.
Okay, you're not Rosalie, is just Stefan. What's your last name?
Rosalia Di Stefano.
Okay, it came through. I
Okay.
just got it. I just got it.
I have no idea who wrote,
Oh
you know,
no, I just got it. I just got it. Okay, so I'll put you on the list. Oh
Okay.
goodness.
I haven't,
Oh yeah.
don't even, except I did find out that actually all of the solar storms we have been having do in fact mess with electronics and,
Well, I don't know. Is Mercury a retrograde again? Because I've been having some screwed up information.
yeah. Well, the solar storms will not necessarily interfere with software, but it interferes with the transmission of
Okay.
stuff, so things don't necessarily
Ay,
do the way
yeah.
it's supposed to.
Hmm.
But who is the silver harpist? I'm still trying to figure out if it's a
I
mark.
don't know.
I love it. I mean, like,
Really? The silver harpist, I love it.
Okay, okay, before we start, does anybody need to leave early? You're okay with,
I have to
with,
leave by 5.
Ah.
And I don't think I'm going to read for the open.
okay,
Everyone
okay,
else.
okay.
Yeah,
I
I don't
like,
I don't have to leave early at the end of the reading, but
You're
I'm
pretty,
waiting
you're pretty
for it.
high. I think you're,
I'm waiting for a delivery, so I'm gonna jump up and go out and open the door and then come
yeah,
back.
because I had that's why I was downstairs briefly because someone was ringing my doorbell.
Yeah,
It was the mail people, but believe it or not, they didn't have anything for me because I'm expecting my some of my anthologies to come, like the Goddess anthology. And the mail people rang my bell. That's why I ran downstairs. I couldn't get on, but it wasn't for me. It was for somebody else.
I'd like to read later on if possible, only because
Who's this?
Leah.
Leah Di Stefano.
Leah. Okay, is that Rosalia? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It says
Okay.
Leah in
You'll
my
be in the
little,
third round.
in my little Zoom square here.
You'll be okay.
Yeah, great.
Oy vey. Like I was last week, I was having issues with Adobe. They would kept crashing on me, and even my Gmail was crashing. This was like few days ago.
Oh, don't tell me. That's why I found out about the fact that things were being messed up by the solar storms. Because believe me, I had to spend probably 30 hours working on a graphic design job that should have taken maybe 10 or 8. Things got lost, corrupt. You have no idea.
Yeah, it's like, what the heck? Universe wants to make life miserable for us, that's all.
It was literally a nightmare. I mean, they're just.
Yeah, I know, I was just going crazy with the approvals and everything, and people trying to say, I sent you something, and I think, and my Gmail crashed, and then my Adobe, because I'm sending out proofs for the Brownstone Poets anthology, you know, for the proofs for their approvals, and things were getting corrupted, the emails were getting, and then my
That's
Adobe
exactly
got
what was
corrupted.
happening to me. I mean, I even had InDesign file, a couple of them disappear. Basically, like
And
4 or
Gmail
5
sent,
hours worth of
and
work.
Gmail sent all my correspondence to the trash. I had to retrieve everything. Blame it on the sunspots, thank you. It was freaking out here.
No.
Okay,
Well, that explains the difficulty I had. I thought it was my phone, but I think it was
No,
the solar system.
yeah, I mean,
Okay, blame it on the solar system.
yeah, the universe hates us, thank you. Unless it's the Green Man or whoever, the Galactic Federations, or the reptilians, whatever. Okay, Roxy, give me the high sign, when to start. It's 2:15 now. Okay, Ken,
You can start, everything's ready, the recording's up and live stream is running.
fantastic, okay.
Oh, no, maybe, yeah, the recording and the live is up. Everything's up.
Okay, fantastic, very good. Let me just get on, I'm trying to move this on. What the heck is happening with this thing? No, I have to do something with my screen, something is going wrong here. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Brownstone Poets. Happy Memorial Day. It's a sunny day here in Brooklyn. Thank you for coming. We have a fabulous reading today. We have Claudia Soria, Arthur Russell, and Anton Yakovlev. Sorry about the messing up the names here. I'm Eastern European. They're going to be the featured readers, and we have a fabulous open mic here. We have, we're going to have the first 10 opens, then we're going to have features 1 and 2, who will be Claudia and Arthur. And then we're going to have like a 10-15 minute break. And after that, when Roxy returns, we're going to do like the next 9 opens. And we're going to have feature number 3, Anton, and the rest of the open. Please use the chat to do your shameless plugs, to promote your books, your upcoming readings. We use the chat as a friendly outlet for poets to share positive feedback. No fighting here. We're here as a safe space. And I'll just read off the first 10 people who are supposed to be reading on the open. Please keep it like 3 minutes. We have Mona, Ron Burma, Bill Considine, Karen here? Not yet.
Yeah.
Hi, Karen. Hi.
Hi.
We have Anat. I'm sorry if I'm messing up your name. Anat. Frank Rubino. Is that Tammy Smith here? It's not. Mo Seeger's not here. Okay. No David Duffy. Oh, it's going to be a quick reading. Do you have an Edward Galt? Okay. Cindy Hockman, you still don't want to read?
I'm not reading now.
Okay, 1, 2, 3,
That's a real loss.
5. Andy
I'm
Kaufman,
forward to
okay.
hearing you.
And there's no L. There's a lot of people didn't show up. Okay, so we'll stop there. We'll do like about 8 and 8, whatever, 7 or 8 people. Okay, 3 minutes. Mona, please unmute and share.
Thank you very much, Patricia. The first poem is called Where I Go. Where I go, you can't follow. The blue heron, its wings wide like an open book, elegant and sharp in its circular flight above me. Deeper into the marshes, I did not believe, nor did I understand. My arms strained. I paddle forward. I follow him patient and ready. The water's quieter than my breath. Where I go, you can't follow. Cormorants too lean in. The water's still before their takeoff. The woods green with a blackbird's song. She flew by like an arrow. Where I go, you can't follow. I hear them whisper. I stop and feel my arms. Slow heartbeats echo my longing. The forest chatter bright in the midday light. I did not believe, nor did I understand. Fallen trees raise branches above the water like arms in prayer. No, not a lament. Where I go, you can't follow. My arms strained, harsh on my skin, the sun burns, the forest cool and green. At last, on the rocky path, now barefoot and wet, I feel every edge solid and urgent. I carry my wares beyond sorrow. Finally, I understand. Where I go, you can't follow.
Thank you. If you're not reading, please mute. If you are not muted. Oh,
Do I
welcome.
have time for one more? Do I have time for one
Yeah,
short?
yeah. But everybody, please mute if you're not reading.
The next one is called Oklahoma Sunsets, a poem that I wrote for my son, who's been a soldier for a year. I wrote this poem the day he became a soldier in Oklahoma, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Where the buffalo still roam, the road circles up the mountain. The great plains stretch wildly in the distance. Here, fading, the sound of shells, the buzzards out for fresh kill. No matter. Out in Fort Sill, one knows. In Fort Sill, one looks up the heavens between drills, biblically. Climbing the ladder is no small matter, he said. I'm here to stay. Not here, but stay. Look how the sun is always about to set in Oklahoma, biblically, like wildflowers turn their heads. On each side of the road, the blooming meadows, radiant and alive, graves of all kinds line the valley. Come, mother, I will show you the mountain up where the buffalo still roam. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Beautiful. Please, anybody please mute? Okay, thank you. Okay, we're getting more people on. Okay, the next one we have Ron Bremer. I guess, are you reading, Ron?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. First of all, I'd like to show you my beautiful T-shirt that the National Baseball Poetry Festival sent me for my poem, The Ghost Chaser. And I'm going to do two things that I wrote this morning, very short. The first one is called Time Will Tell. Time tells me a story that I don't want to hear until it's too late to do anything about it, and I can wallow in regret. And here is the second one. Playing intellectual snooker with you and your ego is like playing Russian roulette with a chamber full of bullets, or like paying the piper with an expired credit card. Thank you and have a pleasant day.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Always, I love your work. You're great. Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, the next few, we have Bill Considine and Elizabeth Karen, and then Elizabeth Moss is gonna come in. And then after Elizabeth Moss, we're gonna have, I guess, Cindy's, Andrew Kaufman. Okay, take it away, Bill.
Thank you. I'm going to read two stanzas from a longer poem called A Rose is a Rose is a Rosebud Bud. Ranunculus is Persian buttercup or Asiatic crowfoot. Candelabra aloe is an octopus plant. Aloe vera is a wand of heaven. Papyrus sedge is paper reed, Nile grass, or Indian matting. King Protea is honeypot or king sugarbush. Bird of paradise is a crane flower. Jade plant is dollar plant or money tree. Silver wattle is mimosa. Foxtail agave is lion's tail, swan's neck, spineless, or dragon tree agave. Common globe amaranth is Christ's cloak, bachelor's button, or love lies bleeding. Buffalo burr nightshade is buffalo berry or Kansas thistle. Pencil cactus is Indian tree spurge, naked lady, or fire stick. Peruvian pepper tree is pink peppercorn. Multiflora rose is Seven Sisters rose, baby rose, or rambler rose. That's one stanza. Joe pieweed is trumpet weed, purple thoroughwort, or queen of the meadow. Orpine is witch's money bags, garden stonecrop, live long, or midsummer men. Winter creeper is fortune spindle. Rocky Mountain juniper is western red cedar. Tutsin is sweet amber, park leaves, balm of the warrior's wounds, or Bible leaf. English ivy is poet's ivy or common ivy. Wild daffodil is Lent lily or trumpet narcissus. Lesser celandine is fig buttercup or pilewort. Periwinkle is myrtle, but not the myrtle, nor bog myrtle, wax myrtle, moor myrtle, or crepe myrtle. Top lavender is French, butterfly, Spanish, or French lavender. Southern magnolia is big laurel or bull bay. Boxwood is dudgeon. Trailing lantana is weeping, small, spreading, trailing, cellos, or creeping lantana. Camellia is the rose of winter. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love it. I love it. Okay, next up, we're gonna have Karen Newberg. And after Karen will be Elizabeth Moss and Andrew Kaufman. Take it away, Karen. Take it away, Karen.
Karen Burke, is that who?
Oh, I thought you were. Oh no, I thought you were Karen Newberg. I'm sorry. She's not here. Oh, God. Okay.
So should I read?
Yeah, why
Karen?
not? Karen. Again, the Karens will confuse you.
Okay. This is called The Wet Newspaper. Not much depends upon a wet newspaper. Pulp in wrecked plastic, flattened on the pavement. Thank you.
That's it? Do you have any
That's
more?
it. No,
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. It's very nice, short and sweet. That's really brevitas. Try brevitas. Thank you. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. Come again. Okay, next up, we're gonna have Avant. I'm sorry, Avant. I'm sorry if I messed up the name. You want to read? Avant?
It's Anant.
Anant, do you want to read?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to read two poems. This one is called Springtime Emptiness. From our fancy cars to our cozy homes, filled to the brim with things of comfort, and of instantaneous joys, what hounds us? What emptiness hoovers our lives? We boast of our wisdom and marvel at our heavy, expensive volumes of Homer and Plato and Emily and Gandhi, decorated tombs of men and women of yore. We meet at poetry readings and laugh and drink and squeeze energy from the newly supple spring air. Breathe us the mirth. This could be the New York School of Poetry of our times, or the immigrant generation of the beats, or a nothinger in a sea of other nothingnesses. Nights are blue and virile, ripe with ingenious charms, and stars are good at being the deadbeat masses of gas and dirt, but the emptiness still haunts us. That was Springtime Emptiness. And I will end with this small poem called Ode to Humanity and William Carlos Williams. The coffee has gone cold. I can nuke it if you want. She says it's all right. So I turn to my phone again. The news streams keep getting worse, and I'm a little dazed this morning from yesterday's beer. It was a European brew, a little bitter, the ones that come in green bottles with edged crowns and lesser known names. It's a muggy day, and humanity is almost on the cusp of a total meltdown. So we get on with the hours like William Carlos Williams would have through the narrow streets of Rutherford, New Jersey, after a home visit to an ailing child. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, excellent. We have, let's see. Andrew, you want to unmute, and then after Andrew, we're going to have Jack Cooper, and we're going to end this first round. And I'll mention who's going to be the second and the third round. Okay? Unmute, Andrew. Andrew? What happened to him? Oh dear. Did we lose Andrew? Okay, I'm gonna move on to,
Here he goes.
is Andrew here? Oh, there you go. Feel free to read. Here we go again.
I think we'll just come back to him.
Yeah, I
Patricia.
keep having problems again. Okay. Okay, Jack, could you unmute and share? Jack Cooper?
I am unmuted.
Please share.
All right. Two sides of spring. The first is called The Break. Desolate these days, or no spring receives, impoverish its richesse, green my despair. The petals show above the leaf in silence, born despite the sun and persistent rain that every flower affords. But sameness go from hand to hand in hands that are my own. No joy take, monotony relieves the gray, cannot distinguish before, after, and before. Good will come from something new, not more. The break, so the wave that may not reach the shore.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Reflection,
Oh.
somewhat brighter. Reflection. We lay on the bed, we two, and the spring afternoon pursued its own amusement. Passing through the calm, a breeze entered quietly. The window, open, swung to receive it. Wide at first, then back, and all thought vanished. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, next up, okay, I'm gonna end with Elizabeth Moss and Frank Rubino. Elizabeth, please unmute and share. I don't think you read. Elizabeth?
Nightshade. Tomatoes are nightshade. Toxins have been lurking in our salad. My friend pointed out dark berries. Deadly nightshade, she said. The fruit of malicious desserts, the tomatoes of pupil dilation. Each restaurant serves red half moons that taste like gravelly ice. Nightshade berries taste like love, my friend said. Someone tired of a spouse could make a fabulous dinner, luring their former beloved into another kind of bed. For 7-year-olds who want to make poison, there are antidotes on kitchen shelves. The children eat tomatoes for lunch at school, though no one goes home sick. Everyone has wanted to poison someone sometime. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Happy Catterday.
Happy Catterday.
Glad you're able to make it because I thought you were gonna come later. Hey, thank you. Frank, you want to unmute and share?
Yes, hi everybody. Hello. I am going to read you Shaktikon. Shaktikon. He was a friend of yours, Shaktikon was. A loving boy whose mother died of cancer when he was just 16, who exploited his resemblance to John Travolta to get sex from girls in the back seats of Greyhounds as they rolled out of Phoenix and passed an 8x4 plywood sheet in the desert spray painted with a phone number he would later call looking for a girlfriend experience, who melted green army men into green gobsnot, creating a puff of oily black smoke, not in protest of war and society's worship of military power and firearms, but just wanting to destroy, who drank his own pee one time, inspired by dune water reclamation suits described in detail in the longest paperback he had ever read, who drank the pee of his most cherished girlfriend, lying in a clean, dry bathtub under her in a Viennese inn, and thought of her years later in the park at a dribbling water fountain, who was aroused like Eugene Onegin by his grip on your foot as he guided it into the stirrup and you fled away, who chased off a deer his son was about to shoot point blank deep in the forest when he witnessed the shared innocence of the animal and his son, who he had hoped to educate in killing, who became 300 feet tall and breathed dragon breath on America, inspired by the classical Stoics' belief that the world ends in fire and begins again and again. Shaktikon, who unfolded from a police car to a 300-foot tall bipedal robot, who flung a withering flame, who melted the asphalt streets of New York City the way Hiroshima melted in Japan. I saw a man dancing to his headphones, tall and strong. His step claimed the width of the sidewalk as he danced, back and forth. His grace was in the moment. His grace was YMCA. His grace was Park Street. I had to step past him, synchronized, as when one steps before an oscillating sprinkler. He was a friend of yours, who always charmed and always drew the affection of strangers, who always gave $1, $5, 20, who rode the box cars and sought out other post-punk searchers, finding junkies, con men, and violent persons who locked him in a trunk and tube-fed him shroom porridge, who escaped like Houdini and flew off as a white-winged dove. I just walked down the block where we first ran into each other on just such an afternoon, when the corner restaurant fan blew roasting meat in preparation for dinner service, and the lilac blooms withered early like they do. Thanks.
Thank you so much. That was really gorgeous.
Thank you.
Before we move on, Andrew, are you able to get on? Andrew? I guess I'm going to move on to we're going to move on. We'll come back to Andrew in the second round. The second round, we're going to come back with Andrew Kaufman. Let's see. I see, what's his name? Edward Galt is in the house, so he'll come in part 2. Let's see who else is here. Ron Combe. Is Giulio here? Giulio Macrini? No, I don't think so. Is he here? I guess not. Okay. Harvey Sauce, Ken Howard. I don't see Jerry Wagner here. No. Jeff Wright. And we're going to end with Jeff Wright for the second round. And for round 3, after all the features, we're going to have Maria Perez, Olivia Wu, Adele Sinclair, Leah DiStefano, Kate Worsian, Francis Lombardi Graal, myself, and Roxy. Okay? So we're going to move on to the features. Feature 1, we have Claudia Soria. Claudia Soria is hold on, I'm going to get into the, why is this? I'm trying to get onto the, why is this? I'm trying to get onto these.
Hear it?
No, I'm trying to get onto the focusing on the speaker, and I don't know why I'm having a problem.
You hearing?
Okay, view. Okay, speaker. Okay, we're done. Okay, Claudia Soria is a Romanian American poet, translator.
Where's the mute?
What? We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back after the features. Okay.
Okay.
Round 2.
It went away.
All right. Claudia, do you want him to go on first? Might as well, since we have him on. Please take it away.
Sure.
Okay. Andrew, are you on now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Take it away.
Great.
Thank you.
Martha, just wait. Do you want me to read now?
Yes, might as well get out of the way since we have you. We don't want to lose you again.
Okay, just a moment. Okay, I'm going to be reading from the Rwanda poems, Voices and Visions from the Genocide. And this is called The Genocidaires of Nyamata, Rwanda. Each sentence here is the voice of a different genocide perpetrator that I spoke with. We sang folk songs while working our way through the fields. I know how to use a machete the way you know how to use a pen. We didn't encourage children to take part, but sometimes they watched. The smell of blood every day made me nauseous. Sometimes we chanted, "Do your work, do your work." We stopped at the end of each day when we heard the whistle. Some were afraid of their wives' anger and raped girls in the marshes in the middle of the killings. The killing was intoxicating. We were like drunks calling louder and louder for a beer. It was less repetitive at first than planting rice. When I joined, Interahamwe meant those who work together and those who stand together. Then it was those who fight together. Then it became those who kill together. They kept changing it. I didn't participate in the rapes. It was a job we were told to do. I wept after they forced me to kill a 3-year-old girl. We started out overeager. Since I was over 60, I finished off the wounded on the banana plantation so they wouldn't suffer. I'm okay. Craziness comes more from experiencing bad things than causing them. At first, I killed because they ordered us to. I did get used to it, though. We struggled through marshes up to our ankles, then our knees. The sun made us weak, and papyrus reeds tore our hands. Due to the smell of bodies, only dogs and wild animals went into the church. Some victims were left screaming and writhing from machete wounds because of poor technique. Every day there were some who had to die and some who had to kill them. I was tried at a time when the survivors felt too much anger. It can be thirsty work. Killing is draining and often disgusting. It's like killing a goat. A few whacks on the back of the neck with a machete and the person falls down. It's hard to explain since you weren't there. A few felt cheated when a Tutsi died without saying anything. A neighbor asked me to kill him so he wouldn't suffer. We finished our jobs properly, except with runaways who made us sweat too much in the swamps. I was drunk on banana beer. The killing period was more backbreaking than stoop labor. We were savage, but so were our victims. Since it was hard work, I was always sober. There are situations that set you singing if you win or crying if you lose. Most of the time I was working with the priest, and the priests, of course, were complicit. Thank you very much. Sorry for all the trouble.
Thank you, Andrew. Andrew, thank you very much. Okay, now we're going to move on to the fabulous feature number 1. Claudia Soria is a Romanian-American poet, translator, and editor who, with work published in Consequence, The Southern Review, Field, New Letters, Prairie Schooner, Oxford Poetry, among others, as well as featured on the Writer's Almanac. She is the author of 7 poetry collections, most recently in Those Years No One Slept, Broadstone Books, 2023. Soria won the Pushcock Prize, the Jones Scott Kennedy Memorial Prize from the Poetry Society of Virginia, and the New Letters Readers Awards for her poems. She is the founding editor of National Translation Month, serves on the board of the Red Wheelbarrow Poets, and co-hosts their monthly readings. Let's give a warm Brownstone welcome to Claudia Soria. Take it away, girl. And thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Patty. Thanks everyone for spending your afternoon with us and with poetry. I want to read. Yeah, I want to read from my most recent book, In Those Years No One Slept. I'll post after the reading a link if you want to check it out. It was published last year by Brownstone. It's like most of my poems are autobiographical. I grew up in communist Romania in the years of Ceausescu. And there's some poems after that follow, like my immigration to New York City in the 90s. I'll start because it's close to Memorial Day, with a poem titled Red Poppies. Small open mouths that sing, swallowing pain whole. They grow on battlefields and on abandoned land, unfurling red dresses from the dead's eyelids. Some call them wounds, weeds of eternal love, painted on money, flapping on flags. They write their own small history and give themselves to wind. Heads held by hairy stems and papery dry skin, so easy to snap and spill on the ground the sleepy black seeds. Self-portrait on Independence Boulevard. I lived on Independence Boulevard, block 44, stair B, apartment 31. From the 5th floor window, I could see the bread line sneaking down the sidewalk under the young linden trees that cast almost no shadows. There was an alimentado with shelves populated only by timeless jars of peach compote and cans of mackerel. Next, a butcher's store, always closed, and an aprozar where dirty potatoes sprouted eyes in their broken crates. I grew up in that oblique gaze, across from a garage of rusty public buses and a plant that manufactured concrete wall panels. Here I am, quiet, scrawny, knee-scarred and ponytailed, feet strapped in brown leather and buckles to metal four-wheel roller skates, gliding in the vast emptiness of Independence Boulevard in my industrial city full of dust, without knowing what lies beyond that horizon of cement, rolling, rolling, rolling at high speed, leaning into the wind. Still have the ponytail. We played wedding. I was the bride and my best friend was my bridesmaid. Her little brother was the groom, a skinny boy who always wanted to look under my skirt. We plucked dandelions from balding grass patches and rose petals from the bushes fiercely guarded by the old woman on the first floor. We spread the blooms on cement sidewalks, food for our invisible guests. Marching between rows of pebbles, we held hands and smiled. You may kiss the bride, my friend said, and the boy leaned in. Kids, their mom shouted from the window on the 4th floor. They got sunflower oil at the alimentara. Hurry up and get in line. And we ran, leaving our wedding to the ends. Chernobyl days. We heard about it on Radio Free Europe. Weeks later, they distributed at school to each of us 2 small white pills of potassium iodine per day and wrapped the door handles in gauze, moistened with disinfectant. Some of my classmates never took them. Apartment keys tied around their necks, kids played outside all day as usual. Summer came quickly with no birds. Mom bought us cherries from the market, so rare she couldn't pass them by, and washed them really well. They glistened on the plate. Baby teeth. I return to you, dirt road, keeper of all truths. Let me take off my socks to feel the softness of your dust. Grandmother's house was never sold, it was left to crumble. 1 sleeping room with 2 beds with straw mattresses, the kitchen with no fridge and a 2-eyed electric range. I remember the whitewashed walls made of clay and chaff and the thatch roof over which my brother and I used to throw our baby teeth for good luck. Thick moss was on the roof. Now there must be branches and twigs pushing through the caved-in walls. At night, the moon still searches for our baby teeth through all the dark crevices. So those are some childhood memories. Now I'm going to read a longer poem that talks about my father's experience as a political prisoner in the 50s. in under the previous regime, not Nicolae Ceausescu, when he was sentenced to 80 years of hard labor because of a poem he wrote, or a notebook that was found with some poems of his when he was 19 years old. So the poem is titled Digging, and it starts with an epigraph from Paul Celan, and it's inspired by this image from Paul Celan. There was earth inside them, and they dug. A nation of earthworms, we dug and we dug for years, for decades. We filled ourselves with earth. We dug into each other until we reached bottom, first with shovels, then with bare hands, then with our teeth. What does one do at 19? My father dug and carried wheelbarrows of earth in forced labor camps, each day for years, each night in dreams, but not enough to get a postcard to write home. He wrote his mom in his mind, poems and prayers, and she answered him with rain. Dust to dust, they say, but also mud to mud, clay to kiss of clay. My father still carries the kiss of clay on his lips, even in his sleep. The earth is not giving nor receiving life, and it occurs to me that digging is slow death. What is the surest way to kill a prisoner slowly? Make him dig and carry dirt, turn him into an earthworm. Dig and carry, dig and carry, dig and carry, dig and carry without knowing for how long or when it will stop. Dig with your hands and carry with your back. Dig with your arms and carry with your shoulders. And when you stumble, dig with your teeth and carry with your mouth. There's earth inside you, your own grave. Dig, dig. I think about the plain they dug, the endless, windswept Danube plain lined with endless bodies, a ragged coat lined with silk, salcia periprava stoenești. Tens of thousands of men, my father among them, dug and buried there their youth, their lives. Balta Brăile looks like the meadowlands, water and reeds, dirt and reeds. And we still dig through silence, through words. We dig to find water, to plant, sow seeds. The shovels speak a raspy tongue, and the bones listen for the clang and cleave. The past is not giving nor receiving. My father and I still dig and dig. We dig through the years with our mouths and carry our stories and lives with our teeth. And so each year I go see family, my father, my parents in Romania. And here's a poem titled Rocks from the Black Sea. And when we get to the Black Sea, to the beach. Rocks from the Black Sea. Kids always like to pick rocks, and we did each year, carrying pounds of heavy mementos on the bottom of our travel bags. Fingering them, I thought about soldiers who carry pebbles or a handful of soil from home in their pockets into the battle for good luck so they can return. And I remember how my father told me he picked some rocks and dirt from his parents' grave, filled a bag, carried it hundreds of miles, and poured it over the cemetery plot he bought for him and mom, so he wouldn't feel guilty anymore that he didn't visit his parents' tombs in a long time. I wonder if I'll do the same. Wonder if I'm hoarding rocks and sand to fill the distance. On a wooden table outside, I gathered the stones around the weather lantern into a still life, a miniature landscape of memories from the sea, for good luck, so I can return. And a few years back, my father was in the hospital, and I wrote this poem. It's based on a real conversation when I was 18 and trying to get into the university. And so you'll see, it's called bar hopping. I wonder if the water in his lungs is salty, like the waves lapping at my feet. He once told me if I passed the entrance exam to the university, he'd take me bar hopping, and I laughed. Why would I go bar hopping with my father? I got past the exam and we never went to any bars or to the Black Sea again. Now the sea has come back searching for him. Water climbed into his lungs and the machine pumps oxygen to help him breathe in and out like the tides. If he were awake, I'd tell him, when you get out of the hospital, I'll take you bar hopping and to the beach again. The sea rolls on the shore, endless hope, endless, endless, endless. So he's fine now. We're looking forward to I'm looking forward to seeing everyone again. And poem about my parents getting older, climbing. Each year, my parents grow smaller, summer to summer. They lighten up, climbing into old age like into a tree, shedding their shoes, coats, hats, shirts, socks, pocket change, mom's purse, dad's wristwatch, their wedding rings. I wonder if they transfer their weight onto me, if I get heavier year to year, if my words or my dreams get denser, or I carry them slower like rocks or lead in my pockets. My parents get lighter and lighter like birds or balloons, rising into the old age tree until I can't see them any longer. But I know they're still there, climbing, hidden from view among the tall branches. And I'll close with a poem inspired by our beloved doctor from Rutherford, William Carlos Williams. And this is Forgive Me, I Ate Summer. It was fuzzy and still warm from the sun. I bit into its orb, slurped its juices, and some of them dripped on my chin. A few threads of flesh stuck in my teeth. Long after the last gulp, I kept tasting it in the sky of my mouth. It was delicious, it was delicious, it was delicious, and now it's gone. The last one, forgive me, from our tree of summers. All that's left of it, hold out your hand, love. Is this wrinkled, poked pit? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to the second feature before we go into our break. We're going to come with Arthur Russell is the winner, most recently of the 2023 Rattle Chapbook Prize at rattle.com, chapbooks2023.com, and the 2023 Fractured Lit Flash Fiction Prize. His poems and stories have appeared in Copper Nickel and Glimmer Train, among the other publications. He is one of the directors of the Red Wheelbarrow Poets of Rutherford, New Jersey, where he co-leads the weekly workshop, co-hosts the monthly reading series, and co-edits the annual journal. Let's give a warm Brownstone welcome to Arthur Russell, a brevetarian.
Hey, thank you so much, Patricia and Roxanne and Brownstone Poets. I've wanted to read for you guys for a long time, and I'm so happy to be here now with my cohort, Claudia and Anton, all three of us of the Red Wheelbarrow Poets. I loved listening to you, Claudia, and I look forward to hearing you, Anton, after the break. I want to read, well, I have my book here, the one that won the Rattle Prize. It's called At the Car Wash, and it's available through Rattle. Also, I'm going to be reading next Saturday at the Watershed reading in South Orange, and everyone who comes to that reading is going to get a free copy of the book because Rattle gave me 500 copies, and I don't want to die still owning them. I'm going to start off by reading a few poems about a friend of mine who didn't make it all the way to adulthood. And I've been writing about him on and off for the last 30 or 40 years. So I'm going to read three poems, one very recent, and a couple that are a little bit older that indirectly talk about him or directly do. The first one is called While We Waited on Stage. While we waited on stage with our trumpets upright on our knees for the concert to start, My best friend, Andy M., turned and whispered to me that at home, just that morning, his 3-year-old brother had asked him to play hide and seek, and that when, with his face in the crook of his arm, Andy counted the 10 Mississippis and turned, his cute little brother was standing not 5 feet away with his arms at his side and his body erect and his eyes squeezed as tight as a fist, evidently believing that if he couldn't see, then nobody else could see him. So I whispered to Andy, "And why are you telling me this?" But by then, in his tux, Mr. Hirsch had come out from the wings and the parents were loudly applauding. "I don't know," Andy said, with a catch in his voice, and I looked at his face, and I felt something move like a waterbed wave through my body. And then Mr. Hirsch raised his arms to begin. This, this second one is called Unbent Trumpet. I unbent a trumpet, looking for Andrew, my first friend. Down the tool room, with a propane torch, hard rubber hammer, and soft steel pry, I smithied out the bends in the horn I'd played in high school. If he were in there, I would find him. The blue flame burnt the varnish, and the stout tube sweated solder like candle wax, and the air stunk with sweet flux. The valve set, all 3 at once, came free in my right hand. I regarded it like a pearl-capped grenade and worked the valves insistently, watched openings align and then move out of line. The horn I'd played beside him, disintricated and unraveled, lay like orderly bones in straightened, heat-stained pieces on the brown bench. And yet the disbelieving night disputed what my knuckles knew. So I put it back together like a jury-rigged telescope, a 4-foot clarion without heraldic flag, and now it was nearly morning. Holding the straightened trumpet up, I put my eye to the mouthpiece. I looked up through the trumpet toward the incandescent basement light, and I saw him down Sheepshead Bay, the summer after graduation, with a soft instrument case hanging from his shoulder. Thick curls parted in the middle under the newsboy cap and whitened blue jeans torn at the knee. There were fishermen on the pier, filleting blues on the cleaning tables. A cigarette caught in a crevice at the faucet, smoking thickly like a punk in the motionless air. He stopped in the middle of the footbridge that crossed Sheepshead Bay from East 19th Street to Manhattan Beach to unpack his trumpet and licked his little mustache, where the sound from his lips first imagined the air above the bay beyond the bell. And he played that bellboy trumpet over the glassy, listless bay, majestic among moorings, from Emmons Avenue to Exeter Street, where anyone could have heard him. Thank you all. And this third one is I won't say much about it. It's called Among Other Things. It's a very recent poem. I bought her 2 pairs of wide-legged jeans at Kohl's last week. For the longest time, like a year, I'd asked random women on elevators where they'd gotten their wide-legged jeans. And I'd tell her, and I'd pointed out women that we saw in the world who were wearing wide-legged jeans. "It looks great," I'd say. "It's a great look. You'd look great in them." And she'd say, "I have something like that." And I'd say, "No, you don't." And it would go on like that with no wide-legged jeans in her closet and a sense of frustration dementing my view. So we're in Kohl's last week, picking out Legos for her grandson. And there they are, wide-legged jeans, dozens of them, racks and racks in black and creamy white and army drab. So she couldn't escape. And I stood outside the changing room while she tried them. I hadn't done that since my daughter and I, on Saturdays at the mall, shopped at Madewell, and while I waited outside the heavy curtained dressing booths, I'd watch the young store clerks refolding clothes that had been tried and rejected. I loved to watch them fold sweaters, jeans, anything really. They were so bored, so deft-handed, with plain, unconscious competence in their soft fingers, smoothing the fabric ahead of the fold. And there, at Kohl's, as I waited outside the dressing room, I watched another guy, sort of my age, leaning with his elbows on the shopping cart handle for his wife to emerge, and saw a young woman sticking her head out the door and called to her mom to come see, but her mom didn't hear, so I turned to the mom and I said, "Mom, she needs you." I like stuff like that, where I fit into life. And then my gal came out in her creamy white, wide-legged jeans and her feet in white socks and her hands with the tail of her blue chambray shirt exposing the waist of the pants. And then yesterday, I picked her up to go to my sister's house for dinner, and she's walking down the driveway towards my truck in those wide-legged jeans and a black tee, and her white hair all scrunched into waves like she likes it. And she holds out her arms like the littlest show, and I feel like a water glass swelling over its brim. But the weird part, and this is the part I'm reluctant to tell, is how in my life, which has been going on for a few years now, when one of these moments where something I've wanted but thought wouldn't happen occurs, like these pants and the woman who wore them, I have an argumentative urge to turn to Andy's ghost, my first friend, Andy, who was unable to wait, and to say to him, "See, if only you'd hung around, things might have improved, and you might have had this." No more Andy poems for now. I didn't set my timer, so I feel bad about that. Let me turn this back on. This is called...
6 minutes. You have 6 minutes.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot. I'm going to read a couple of poems from At the Car Wash, moving in a more, well, this one's called Mom Would Be a Cardinal. Mom would be a cardinal, the brown beside the red one who perched along the fence rail and picked apart the seed pods he'd gathered from the hosta, exposing seeds like rice grains. He scattered them profusely. Then she would land beside him. They'd eat their fill of hosta and leave a mess of seed coats and seeds along the fence rail, and flying off together, she'd chase him through the pine boughs. Their nest was in the privet. She called him from the privet. She called him from the privet. His head cocked toward the privet, he seemed to think about it as older men consider, then rose up from the railing and flew between the houses. Dad would be a cardinal, the red one in the spruce tree who wore his red cap backwards and celebrated winter by rooting through the holly, fighting with the squirrel who tried to raid the feeder, and perching in the blue spruce, as noble as a wind vane. Mom would be a cardinal, emerging in the springtime, the brown beside the red one with dirty snow on fences, in air that bore them forward. How dusty brown her plumage. She called him from the privet. She called him from the privet. She called him from the privet. It's great seeing you all there. It's so funny. It's so quiet. I want to read a new poem. Maybe two poems. I'll just end with these. There's more from my book, but I'm just not in the mood to read from that today. This one is called Said the Needle to the Haystack, This is Home. I feel nothing for others. It's only me, over and over, that tricks my heart and the hairs on my neck to rise to my defense. My mouth, each morning, smelling more like grandfather breath. Eating like a bulldozer, crying like a rusted hinge, and not much has changed since my earliest belief that I was the only truly living thing, and that all the rest besides were robots arranged to benefit my progress. Progress with no prime mover or certified purpose, protected by subtle machinery, swollen with certainty, proud as a penis, petulant as any prince regent waiting for his regency to end. And when they were cruel, these robots, when they forced me through the maze or fuse, or locked me in the walnut brain pan, teaching me to count, or burned my neck with their eyes, or shamed me with reluctant belts, or dipped me by the ankle in the vulnerable stream, I was good. I walked to school. I blew my trumpet in the trumpet section, shot free throws in the driveway, pounded my head on my pillow to sleep. I let the sawyer strip my bark and saw me into planks for siding, and learned the grueling business of the astronauts, having only hatches for companions, hatches and hasps and padlocks and airlocks and latches and passwords and buttons and zippers. And I sang the Hebrew praises of the season for everything that closes with a clasp. Said the needle to the haystack, this is home. Said the haystack to the needle, you alone? The needle said, I pull the thread by which the world is held. The hay replied, well, come inside. We'll hide you from yourself. And yeah, thank you. I think I'll just stop with a minute to go and hope to be around to hear the rest of you read, and Anton, and have a great day. I really appreciate you having me here today, and thank you again to the Brownstone Poets.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Arthur, and thank you, Claudia. Please stick around. We're gonna be going on our break, but before we go on a break, let me go back to this confusing schedule now. Okay. On round 2, we're gonna have Edward Galt to read, Ron Combe to read, Harvey Sauce, Ken Holland, got that right, Jeff Wright, and Maria Perez. And round 3, we're going to have Olivia Wu, Adela Sinclair, Leah DiStefano. Kate is not going to read. Okay. And Francis Lombardi Grall, and myself and Roxanne. So, and when we come back, just want to let you know, we're going to go like a 10-15 minute break, Roxanne. Roxy? Okay. Well, just want to let you know that next month on June 29th, we're going to have Margaret Sirocco read, Ron Bremer, who's in the house right now, and Jada Gordon. They're going to be our features for next month. And anybody have any show, you can unmute and just share your shameless plugs or say hi, whatever.
Hi.
Hi. So we're on right now, the time's now 3:18. I guess we'll come back like around 3:30-ish, Roxanne, or 3:35.
So I have a shameless plug. On June 8th, I'm hosting Romanian diaspora poets at George Wallace's Poets Building Bridges that you probably know of. It's a terrific series. So that it's coming up on June 8th at 12 p.m. on Zoom. And the poets that are reading are Mihaela Moskaliuk, Ioana Ioronim, and Adina Dabija, and it would be fantastic to see some of you there. It's gonna be a terrific reading. Like George's series is also wonderful all the time. So I just wanted to put it out there. I'm gonna send announcements, but that's coming up on June 8th.
Claudia, you were so terrific. What a poet. How wonderful.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're such a shameless plugger.
I agree with Jeff.
Nah, listen, I have to make a plug now too. At 5 o'clock today with the Lit Balm readings, we might see some of you. Cindy going to be there. If you can check in, Jose Padua, Buck Downs, Erica, Maria, Miriam Fabry, and Don Wellman. And once again, and Arthur was really great too. Sorry, Arthur was great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
And we're coming back on. You have a break until 3:30. We're going to resume with the reading, with part 2 of the open, and then we're going to come up back with Anton Yakovlev, and then we're going to finish with the rest of the open. Just to let you know, 3:30 we come back on. So resume, talk, schmooze. That's it. Get a cup of coffee.
When Anton reads, I'm going to have to put Russian into the chat box, so you're not going to understand it. I don't know Russian.
Really beautiful.
If I may, I'd also like to invite you to Artful Dodgers Poetry's next open mic on Saturday. I believe it's June 15th at 2:30, whatever it is, Eastern Daylight Time, whatever we are. I will be posting it in Eventbrite probably in the next day or so. And we generally have 2 rounds of reading, goes for a couple of hours. Everybody who signs up and wants to read can do so. Feel free to also contact me at poetsauce, SOSS, at Gmail if you want any information or to be added to our notifications list. Thank you.
I guess it's weird for me to announce it before doing my own reading, but I will also have a couple of readings coming up in the near future. For those of you in Brooklyn, I'm doing a reading that's unfortunately competing with Arthur's next Saturday at the Gowanus Boathouse at 1:30 p.m. I'll post it in the chat, and it's called The Persistence of Cormorants, a series that Jerry Wagner runs. And I will also share a link to my book launch, like the official publisher book launch, which will be on June 11th. And there's like an Eventbrite, free, of course. So I'll share those 2 links. Obviously, it would be fantastic to see any of you there.
Yeah, Anton, if you could maybe just email me something with respect to that, maybe I'll walk over that day.
Oh, yeah.
Anton, what? You said free drinks? What?
Free tickets, but free drinks, well, we can.
Yeah.
Could I announce a reading? Anton also told me that there were going to be free drinks and an extensive smorgasbord, but how he's going to do that on a Zoom launch, I don't know.
There's going to be a large reading tomorrow at the Theater for the New City at 4 in the afternoon, 155 First Avenue between 9th and 10th. It's Lisa Mara actually has been doing this for years. It's a terrific reading. And there is sort of an open, so I think if other people show up, she might try and actually fit them in. It's a lot of people. That's tomorrow.
There's always room for Zello. So I've heard in the Bible. Is that Olivia? Look, hi, kid.
Hi, Jeff.
How are ya? Look at
I'm
you.
doing well.
We have Gravitas in the house.
Yay, right, Patty?
Mhm.
I got my breath poem ready for today.
What's,
Yeah, I got short poems too.
yeah, I'm gonna read some of my, I'm gonna read my brevity poems I didn't post yet today, so you're gonna hear it first.
Why is today a Brevitas Day?
Well, isn't it supposed to be the 30th?
I always went with the 1st and the 15th.
Yeah,
Have I been getting it wrong?
I
It
guess
is the
the
1st
weekend.
and the 15th. It's the 1st
Yeah,
and the
I'm not
15th.
posting it yet, but some people are gonna hear what I'm gonna be posting.
All right.
After I read a long poem that will not go on Brevitas.
Long poem.
It's very serious, so be prepared.
Such a nice Memorial Day weekend. Lori and I went down to this dance concert on the Waiver Tree. It was so fun. There was about 12 dancers. The Lenora Lee Company.
That's a big boat that's docked down there, right?
Yeah.
It's been there for years. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Wow.
Yeah, man. They have a saloon. I mean, it's not a working saloon, but that they called it a saloon. It was really also the office and the captain's sort of clubhouse area. Beautiful. Beautiful. New York's a hell of a town. I saw one sailor so far. I gave him a copy of Taylor Mead's book. Not really. But you know, Taylor Mead had that line about, oh, to be covered with semen from the USS Lexington. Seamen.
Seaman. Why do you call it seaman?
I know this should be called Sea Babes or something like Sea Personnel. Or
I guess they want to make it sound more macho. They call it seaman.
instead of, you mean like scuzz or jizz? No. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. We're going off the tangent here.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Naughty, naughty, naughty.
Their uniforms are so cool though, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys know Dean Young, the poet? He's so good, but he died.
Mm.
Dean Young. Yeah, he was pretty well known.
Yeah, 4 more minutes to schmooze.
Did you hear the joke about
Dean Young was the, I think he was the editor at Field. I'm not sure. He was
Who?
for a while, Dean Young.
Oh, really? Uh-huh.
I think he was the editor at Field, and then Field, the magazine, the journal, folded it a few years back, and I'm sorry to hear that he passed too.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know him. I just knew of him from Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, they said he was like New York school, like O'Hara and Asbury's and Coke. Kenneth Coke. What a name, right?
I liked his poem, yeah.
Yeah.
He used to post on Facebook every once in a while, like a poem of the week, or just, every once in a while his own work. That's good.
Yeah, I got this book here. Falling up, doesn't that falling? Oh, here we go. Falling higher. So the idea is to fall, but just to fall from no height. Good idea if you can pull that off, right? So, all right, I'm gonna grab my coffee and get ready for round 4.5.
Yeah, 2 more minutes. Roxy, should we come back on?
Does everybody know it's the African festival at yeah.
Okay, hi, well, welcome back to the second part of Brownstone Poets. Okay, we're gonna come with I'm gonna read off the round 2 of the open. We have Edward Galt, we have Ron Combe, Cal Harvey Sauce, Ken Holland, Jeff Wright, and Maria Perez. And then we're gonna have Anton Yakovlev read. And then after he reads, we're gonna come back with the final round of round 3 of the open with Olivia Wu, Adela Sinclair, Leah Di Stefano, Francis Grawl, and we're gonna have myself and Roxy. Okay, so 3 minutes, please. Edward Galt, could you please unmute and share? And everybody else, please be muted. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I do have a book coming out later this summer in August, and it's called Airhead. It's by Red or Green Books, and I posted a little poster for the book launch that we'll be having in August in the chat. Well, thank you very much. This one is in the book, and it's called The Things They Did, and it was written as kind of a response to the Patriot Act. We read about them today. They went to work and came home to their families. They went out to dinner. We went to the movies, took walks. They wrote poetry, went camping, and had dreams about the lake and the way that the moon's reflection looked in it. Sometimes they had their photos taken. Their pictures line the walls of galleries today. They didn't know that they then went, though. They didn't know that then, though. They were taking their family walks, tossing their children up in the air. They then blew candles out on birthday cakes. They dreamed of their vacation and the beach of some foreign port. Many just stayed home and played in their yards. Some had picnics in the park when they enjoyed the sun on their face and on such a nice day. Then the police came one night and took them all away. Thank you very much.
Wow. Congratulations on the upcoming book.
Thank you.
Ron Combe, can you unmute and share? And after Ron, we're going to hear from Harvey Sauce. Ron, unmute.
Great. Many years ago, I worked in the Strand bookstore, and I had to shelve books from people's libraries, used books. And as I would shelve them, letters and postcards would fall out of the books, all sorts of really cool stuff. And I wrote poems about them, using lines from those letters and from their postcards. So here's one of the poems I wrote. It's called Round the World Cruise, 1934. She smiles back at me and then leans in her deck chair as we end our vacation with a cruise across the Pacific. We found fun impossible in trouble-riddled South America. The hotels smelled of urine, the carpets were worn, and a gaucho broke her heart with his bullet-studded belt. We fled on a train packed with refugees, sleeping car hotbox wheels and the engine on fire. We made it to Munich and partied the rest of the season. A full moon shines high above the black waters of Repulse Bay. I twist in my seat and return her smile, wondering how much money we still have left in the bank. Tomorrow we'll drink ourselves into gentle oblivion, just like we always do, but I'll try to remember in the bottom of my brain not to let the guide trap us in his shop until we've seen all the sights. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you again. Next, we have Harvey Sauce. After Harvey, we're gonna have Ken Holland, Jeff Wright, and Maria Perez. Harvey, unmute and share.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good enough. Okay. The word roomy in this is the roomy of wetness, Rheumy. Minnesota girl gone missing, found under ice. This wasn't the ice fishing they were hoping for. The lakes around Brainerd known to be packed with bass and walleye, not stocked with breathless young girls in leggings, questioning why their air ran out. While a red-bearded fisherman in waders exploded off the upended milk crate he'd been seated on to run for help, skidding on boot rubber towards the parking lot. A circle of Bunyan-esque axemen, ice axes in hand, huddled around what might have been a corpus delicti swaddled head to foot in Canada goose, the blue crepiness of her skin arguing against any effort at CPR. Perhaps if she had been found sooner, a shade less blue, perhaps if those knockabouts at a pickup hockey game had seen her go in, they might have fished her out, kissing fresh life into her cold, pruny lips. Bloodhounds of the Missing Persons Bureau, having somehow missed that tear in the ice meniscus, lipstick with the pink of Pepto-Bismol well drink of their break room, take down a photo of the day's catch, unpinning our girl from the corkboard of active investigations, stamping her found and DOA, with no reports of anyone having seen her drown. Orion the hunter, off tightening his belt, everyone else attending to their winter wonderlanding. All that is left, then, is to grieve, and for officers to choose, as school kids do, rock, paper, scissors, loser, to make that folded flag house call desk sergeants won't leave their desks for, that knock on the door every still hopeful mother, worrying her prayer beads, fears to receive the regrettably urgent request for a body ID. The sheet pulled back for a last confirmatory look at a freshwater face which, in its present state, only a mother or coroner could love. No need for a Miss Marple or Hercule Poirot here, a Monsieur Maigret, any of that set. History tells us that each year certain of winter's children, star-crossed, will be lost to us, their minds elsewhere on turning triples into quads, a mod squad of future stars on ice falling down or falling in, having failed to pay that attention to conditions underfoot required for continued life support, as was likely the case with our hooky-playing schoolgirl, with the lifeline of a shooting star. Warm weather having resulted in a roomy surface that might have appeared attractive to a truant soul, witness those telltale contrails, a pattern of figure eights leading to the hole she plunged through, ice giving way, seeming to have landed a toe loop too far, too hard. A transformational figuration pitched face down from Swan Lake gracefulness into a Brainerd fishery, where, puckering up for largemouth and smallmouth, she dangled as bait. Thank you.
Thank you, Harvey. Thank you again. Next up, we have Ken Holland, and after Ken, we're going to have Jeff Wright and Maria Perez. Jeff?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ken.
Yeah, thank you. And Harvey, that was quite wonderful use of language. Two poems. The first is called Metamorphosis. My life has been sandblasted down to the metal rods that once reinforced the concrete of my body, giving lie to the human form as statuary, as architecture. We've held ourselves as if with Corinthian ornamentation. We've held ourselves by the sartorial cut of our lapels, as though mortality had better manners than to look away at the mortar, to reveal we are but flint and function. And beauty, if beauty exists outside ourselves. Our bodies posed and porous, the sky slinging its rain, the wind whistling a merry tune. The second one is called Still Life with Words. I need to talk to my gun, its high stress steel, the irony of its trigger guard. I need to talk to the sommelier who pours himself some of my wine because he has his doubts. I need to talk to the butcher, as he's a man who works with his hands and knows where the bodies are hidden. I need to talk to my father about what he took to the grave instead of a beating heart. I need to talk to my mother, as she's the only memory my ghosted father still listens to. I need to talk to my brother, whose vanished child keeps asking for one more lick of the spoon. I need to talk to the air, which moves through me with barely an embrace of its arms. I need to talk to these words, which walk through life as though they know where they're going. Thank you.
Wow. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Ken, thank you. Next up, we have Jeff Wright, and after Jeff is Maria. And then
Thank you, Pat.
thank you.
Hey, I just wanted to quote a couple memories from the sea, the endless hope, the baby teeth. Claudia, those readings were so good. And here I was talking about Dean Young. I'm embarrassed. It's so great. The air stumbled with Arthur's stuff, the wide pants, his geography, from Evansdale to somewhere, it was wonderful reading. So here we go. Just had to say that again. Thank you, everybody. Hard to say. May dangles its besotted blossoms before us. Camellia, narcissus, red clover for my lover. Living on borrowed zero, you knock me out. Two carousels passing in night's starry town. Saturn's ringtones tingling in my ribcage. Sunday drizzles on 4th Street, but who are we kidding? No one will even try to stop the pregnant robots now, even if we have a go from the hidden tower. Slow dive into upward, here, for, now. As Darwin said, the beagle has landed. Getting to know you, honey flame. Our steps so hot, we leave embers behind, until beyond vanishing, we amplify the sun. Thank you so much, everybody.
Beautiful, Jeff. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Like that pregnant robots. Okay, next we're going to end this second round with Maria Perez before we move on to Anton, our final feature. And then after Anton, we're going to have the third round of the open to conclude the reading. Maria, unmute and share.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great, thank you. Beautiful, this journeys this afternoon have been amazing. Okay, this is dedicated to Leonor Salabata. Going to the Mamos. It had never happened before. A nadie, a pushed aside, pushed up there where the great nations decide fates. This nadie was a doctora, an environmentalist, Arahuaca born from Colombia's Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta, the highest massive in the world, where her teachers, the Mamos, clad in white maguey fibers and conical hats like their mountains, guarded Earth's deep knowing, teaching her and warning of the repercussions of not fixing the relationship with nature and of the importance of protecting their culture and territories. So before she boarded the plane to represent in that grand assembly by the river, in that city of Empire Towers, now ambassador that she was, she journeyed by car and on foot on stony paths to Nabusake, the ancestral holy city, to dialogue with her primordial teachers of the dire callings of the earth, to hear again that we must return to the law of origin, the original instructions on how to live harmoniously with other life forces on the planet, or be subjected to immense levels of crises. She, the emissary just recognized by the nuevo presidente, carried these with her beyond the sacred mountain. And I want to say that this is forthcoming in Brownstone Poets Anthology.
Thank you so much, Marianne, for sharing. Now
Yes.
we move on to the final feature. Anton Yakovlev's poetry collection, One Night We Will No Longer Bear the Ocean, comes out. Oh, it already came out from this past May. From, yeah, did it come out already? I guess it did. May 2024 from Redacted Books and imprint of ELJ Editions. His chapbook, Kronos Dines Alone, Sir Vision Books 2018, won the James Tate Prize. He is also the author of Ordinary Impalers, Kelsey Books 2017, and 2 prior chapbooks. His poems have appeared in the New Yorker, Poetry Daily, the Hopkins Review, Plum, Upstreet, and elsewhere. The Last Poets of the Village, selected poems by Sergei Yesenin, translated by Anton Yakovlev, came out from Sensitive Skin Books in 2019. Let's give a warm Brownstone welcome to Anton Yakovlev.
Yeah, thank you so much, Patricia. Thank you, Roxanne. Thanks everyone for being here. And of course, always such a pleasure and honor to co-feature with Claudia and Arthur. And indeed, my book is, the author copies are on a UPS truck. They were supposed to arrive by 1:30 today. Then the delivery time got pushed off to 7 p.m. So unfortunately, I cannot do an unboxing video live on Zoom, but this is what the cover looks like. And I've posted the link for the book in the chat, and maybe I'll post it again after the reading. So I'm going to jump right into it. A coloring workbook on the elements. Tell me how you're feeling. Send in the little birds. Send in the little birds. My sadness is not with them. My sadness is not with them. It lives in a forest of headless statues with golden hair. Young diplomat. Stop bouncing around, little bird. Notice me slouching. The boy that brought your favorite music to Europe was eaten half by accident at a banquet. Henry Ford often spent his weekends trafficking human lungs. All human history smells like boots. Notice my face in the pavement. Lighten the tips of your hair. I will follow them up. As long as we both shall live, people will cut fruit. People will cut fruit till they die, but you are still young. Munch sinners, the preachers say. This is what you must do. Don't let them cut your green eyes and harvest the broccoli. Leave me a white trail, little airplane. This is all I could ever want. The boy that brought you in on a ship from Europe has forgotten the name on your passport. Henry Ford thinks repentant thoughts as you fall diagonal off the bed. The tips of your hair are blacker now, like the end of a candle lighter. Just another night in Rhode Island. Then we can go. Your voice. You make impressions without finishing touches. You fight philosophy with your homegrown monadnock hymn. Your portable xylophones herd the pretentious beautiful. Your weapons aren't obvious. At length, the oxygen starts running out, and instead of enchantment with your consciously limited number of breaths per minute, I start to yearn for the canyon outside, the one in which you can still find a stray guillotine here and there. If guillotines could sing, would they sing in your voice? If I spoke in your voice, how quickly would I catch fire? Bedtime. I zen my way through your legato tale of balding Mensa man you've grown to hate. I nod and clasp your hand, but no, I fail to grasp your zeitgeist. Plus, it's getting late. I challenge you to figure out how come my late co-worker's statues had me floored far beyond David. But a sudden calm has come upon you. Then a dainty snore. What opiates did we take? A hand withdrawn? Too many arguments over the phone, not jeweled with a makeup promenade? Let's write a power ballad, scorn defeat, ride centaurs, throw a steampunk masquerade. You sleep. Half-open curtains smell of feet. Now, David in this poem was Michelangelo's David. Should have prefaced it, but I sometimes not like prefacing the poems before I read them. This is called the Cedar Creek. We steep tea, and then we read about tea, and then we steep it some more, and then we read some more, and there's just so much we need to say to each other. The moment you tell me the truth, I fall in the Cedar Creek. It's not my fault, nor is it yours, but now our neighborhood is not the same. We do not taste chocolate the same way. Can I forgive you? No, not really. Not at all. Not at all. Go fall into a volcano. I'll be the volcano. I'll pick you up after the show trial. I would have liked to linger on your face. I used to wait for you by the Cedar Creek. After all, plenty of scholars keep their careers alive with thoughts of you. You juggle torches even when people kiss you. I would have liked to nestle with your world, but a world can destroy a rowboat. A lifelong addict, you are now clean, and a spy, but you ripple like a head scratcher. The Cedar Creek keeps adjusting its watershed. You no longer balk at decomposition. You compose a symphony to be played with metal hooks on dead things. You stand in front of the Cedar Creek and don't reveal any secrets. You resort to Russian anti-Napoleonic strategies, which is to say you bravely choose to let Moscow burn. A general is wise to let the other general self-destruct. I do. The leitmotifs come back. We argue and we clutch. We go to Jesus Christ and bite into the infinite bread. Will we ever move beyond our lack of cue balls? The Cedar Creek never did turn into wine. Your fear touches me like a bouncing knight. Betrayal. The moment midnight rings, you throw on your coat and wear your hat at a deliberate angle. It forms a solid unit with your face and turns you into a Raphaelite portrait. Out in the real world, skulls rise out of the snow. Femurs and phalanges crack underfoot. Maggots make waves in newly thawed puddles. Disconnected jaws hop across the street. For half a block, we walk alongside each other. I can almost hear the gears in your head. I have so many answers for you, you think. A maggot lands between your eyes, your award-winning eyes. You run a willow branch along your cheek. Buds fall off one by one. The forgotten years. Slam the wall in halo creation process. Pack the holy twister into a postcard. Rags are lifted from cooling corpses, hoping for a chance encounter. But the churches packed a holy twister into a postcard on a night of rarely worn sunglasses, hoping for a chance encounter. But the churches converged to view a punctuated flashback on a night of rarely worn sunglasses. Human bodies expand, some 12 hours later converge to view a punctuated flashback unambiguously marked on a wooden pole. Human bodies expand, some 12 hours later, faces become mountains through the window, unambiguously marked on a wooden pole in your garden that turned to silence. Faces become mountains through the window, fallen out of syntax, music lost color in your garden that turned to silence, hummingbirds illuminated. Repeated breathing fallen out of syntax, music lost color, slammed the wall in halo creation process, hummingbirds eliminated. Repeated breathing, rags are lifted from cooling corpses. The diaries and the flats have biodegraded. Few people know about the right of way that explains the weedy strip of land stretching from town to town. The railway agency has owned it for a century, postponing and postponing railroad construction. Imaginary commuters hop on and off in the sweat. Imaginary suicides hang out in the nettles. Non-existent trains make division by zero noise, inhibiting every attempt to reuptake meditation. Another winter, and I'm still alone on my porch, watching the drawbridge that rarely opens. I see myself as the last circulating copy of a panned film I never bothered to see. Some afternoons, experimental music arrives from acquaintances who once refused to be my friends, but still want my opinion. Were I on a journey of self-creation, I would have blown up the speakers. If I had children, they would have told me to stay exactly where I am for the rest of my life. Everyone is better for it, I sigh, spooking the mountain lion that only drops by in my mind. Sometimes your name appears on random paintings. The city drips like honey onto maps. The quiet whoosh is different from dying. Wings rain on us like yellow silhouettes of time against the wall. I tried to build a buffer from your bones, but knew you'd never understand. Truth is a picture, naked, moderately guilty. God pollinates the flowers the bees forgot. Legendary rock star quote. Good morning. It's good to see you back in my future. I admit it, the clams in my brain lit up at the news and their waves. The mold from the fountain washed up nowhere. The half-eaten cardinal hung like a candy cane from the bookstore awning, blindsiding the cats. Good morning, good morning. I hear you're huggable again. The mayor even gave you a helicopter. Still, I hope you don't mind me keeping my own lantern. I may need that Mayflower vision. Yes, your marginalia did go a long way, but Jesus. I've been status quo. Thank you for not asking. Brand geese are still my company, and a few people still pick at my vida loca, but don't go full orchestra about it. I'm all over the news, widely read in the slaughterhouses. I sustain the bookstore with my speed reading impulses. When fishermen go to bed, they dream of my karma. Each morning, I take a walk in front of the tavern, look out at the sepia dunes, and cry out, "Killer!" I scrapple my sunlight. Wouldn't want it to go unfiltered. So how will you get here? Your usual sugar donkey? Can he carry the mass of your wine and your Godhead? Will you show up with Hessians? Will it be rainy or boring? Will canaries go on strike? Lately, as I redraft my memories, I lose corners. The lawnmower people gave up hiding their horror at carcasses popping up. The mountains still break. They've built a house on the lot where we used to smirk, but the wall with the shadow of your face is still there. It's one of my most loaded places to visit. Call me when you arrive. I'm sure you will. For a few minutes, let's think of each other as people. Let's take a train to some very specific fissure, then bury our heads in each other's favorite confusion. Your legendary rock star quote is safe in my labyrinth, not hardened by foreshadowing. Your eyes are still good and lost. Don't worry. When you're tired, feel free to peekaboo here. We'll stare at death together and not rub thumbs. You don't need a permit to cry. And I'm going to close with a poem called Trotskyist Cafeteria. Eventually, you did get back home, though it took you hours. Red clothes, spraying stories for years. Neighbors stared in non-committal vectors. You never touched your hang glider again until I poked it. And then you guessed and guessed at how much I wanted to try it while police kept pulling you over. Sometimes you would hit an elk. Sometimes read too many signs shrieking on loans, deflated alter egos, unsnowdened emails. Flew all the way to San Antonio to learn from a friend of a friend what your ancestors had expected of you. Allegorical woodsheds in childhood rooms. Canes become castles, become legal defense, become clouds. None are immune to this. Sometimes you tremble. Sometimes the mountain slopes are late wounds. Sometimes flashbacks to a one-night stand years ago creep like houseplants around your favorite bed and breakfast, the one you wrote to me about. It made me marvel through tears at your changed handwriting, at the way you looked across the faux Victorian room, at the eclipse in the painting, at the latest sycophant fitting well with the velvet, and everything derailed. Never look at mosquitoes while crossing. Never think of childhood. Never take credit for your prize-fighting self-awareness with pills sculpted into past ponds. It takes one block to get soaked after the late-night baseball game. A life to recover from hairballs of obscene analogies. Much later, you understand. You hide your 180s in the proverbial rip currents. Incidental spätzle and the smell of fake red meat make it into too many heart-demoing memoirs. I doubt either of us checks our diaries anymore. Too many bees on sudden flowers, too many ominous meadows across state lines. When I'm puzzled by love, your mind drifts as remaining sun rays go undercover. We messed it up like dead people, like consolations. A fabric of wandering eyes in Christmas tree form. Golden hair on the walls of the National Gallery. Scientists recommend a modicum of lewd behavior, but it's hard to find these days with all the death. All libido in the rear view. We no longer get nervous. Sometimes our death stares are cozy. Will I go look for you in the afterlife, echoing Brodsky snooping for Veronique's red velvet armchair in every Trotskyist cafeteria in the city? Will the piano play itself after the estate sale? Will there be diamonds? Always one more ferry leaving? Will I remember the street where you looked past me? Implication flickers in and out of dark matter, and I'm always one flipped page away from a Martian chronicle. One rotted bovine carcass away from bagging the eel of meditation. For now, though, most of these homes are uninhabited. Even the dead are dumped behind the boarded up windows. A cartoon tells me I never lived here. A Surgeon General's warning unpersons our books. The ghosts of Cerberus's past, treasonous trees, screamed scrapbooks, bones rattling down the crumbling road. So reassuring, so vacant in the regret. Our boxed dinners inedible for the parental advisory stickers. Don't say I'm wrong. The squalls down St. Lawrence River don't point to the room in which we felt nothing together. All this traffic is just an excuse not to avert my eyes when I finally arrive on your porch, where my teacups still stands months later, and your hand reaches into the bonfire seconds before it fades. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Anton. That was amazing. Wow. As Ron Brahma said, you are king of surrealism. Great. Thank you. Now we move on to our remainder of the open, round 3. I'm going to read them off. We have Olivia, Adela, Leah, Francis, I guess Kate doesn't want to read. Okay, that's okay. And myself and Roxanne. So Olivia, please unmute and share.
Thanks, Patricia. I'm going to share one poem. It's called Soil. It connects, yet insulates. It seeks, yet excludes. It hides, yet reveals. It's cold, yet full of warmth. It's dry, yet full of moisture. It's bare, yet full of wealth. It's dirty, yet flawless. It's home, yet homeless. It's simple, yet complex. It's present, yet eternal. It holds all sorrow, also all joy. It's the womb, also the tomb. It listens to all sounds, distills into pure silence for all seeds to take root. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Come again. Wow. Okay, next up we have Adela. Welcome to Brownstone. Please unmute and share.
Thank you so much. And I bask in the welcoming vibes. Thank you. À la recherche du temps perdu. Impossible to measure time lapse. All you are is collisions of photons. All you offer is unequivocal love. Impossible to stand still. All you are is visceral turn of phrases. All you leave behind is fairy dust. Impossible to know the infinite in all of us. All you are cannot be bought nor sold. All you are is known as universal. Impossible to recall specks of dust. All you are is the distance between today and tomorrow. All you are is a measure of time lost. Impossible to forgive the wars. All you are soldiers you into another's land. All you are is a forgotten language in a foreign land. Impossible to understand my visions. All I am is an upside-down image in my occipital nerve. All I stand for is topsy-turvy, impossible to rule you out. All you are is the remainder of an improper fraction. All you are does not add up. Impossible to forgive the sinners. All you are is what you've committed. All you have committed is in our collective memory. Impossible to run away from yourself. All you are conveys an ending before time's up. All you are rattles inside God's tool belt, sharp, sharp, sharp. Impossible to cut you off. All you are is sharper than a knife. All you are is colloquialism dying to be published in a book. Impossible to hear you. All you are is a song in someone else's throat. All you do is fly with another bird's hollowed bones. Impossible to carve you out of stone. All you are is limestone ground inside someone else's cement. All you are becomes another man's gravestone. Thank you.
Beautiful, strong. Wow. Please come again. Love your work. Next up, we have Leah. Welcome to Brownstones. Glad you're able to come. Unmute and share. And after Leah, we're going to have Francis. And Kate, you don't want to share? I guess not. Okay.
Okay. I'm very often write about time. I'm kind of fascinated, the illusory time as far as I'm concerned, past lifetimes, whatever. And train travel, which I don't know about most of you, but I find this like mesmerizing and take you everywhere. in your mind, in your memory. Okay, this poem is called Train Time. I know that riverbank swung from a rope just there, laughing, splash landed. A child who never felt the fleeing heartbeats of children praying a river might make them invisible to dogs, to Nazis. And that blur of terracotta roof. I lay dreaming once on the other side of that upstairs window, the one reflecting a fragrant sun setting on fields of sunflowers and lavenders. The forgotten rot of a soldier asleep beneath their roots, still dreaming of splashing in a river, bequeaths blossoms a reason to thrive. I boarded this TGV from Gare de l'Est at 8:37 a.m. But Steel Song steals memories. An anthem, a dirge, a love song, sweet lullaby, beckons dreams, drifts, toggles time. I could be riding the Samplon Orient Express, swaddled in velvet, or a boxcar bound for smokestacks in Poland. The click, 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 coursing veins, syncopate, disengage, timetables and pocket watches, tick to the pulse of crisscross lifetimes, blur, focus, hypnotize. Someone's running, a river, a fragrance, a field of poppies, a chimney, a cry. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Come again. Beautiful poetry.
Thank you.
Francis, please unmute and share.
Yes, can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Oh, good. Thank you so
You're
much.
able to get on.
All right. I have one called Hula Dancer. I stole it because it was tacky, and I knew who picked it out. My ex-boyfriend, whom my best friend had stolen right from under my nose. I pretended to forgive them both, even agreeing to be in their wedding. But when I saw this pink plastic hula dancer on their bookshelf between Crime and Punishment and the Brothers Karamazov, I couldn't resist tossing it into my bag while my friend was in the John. It was one of those trinkets with a switch underneath that made the doll's hips undulate. I could hear his horsey laugh when he turned her on, and my best friend's salacious laughter joining his. It was just like them to bring back a gaudy souvenir from paradise. Actually, I did them a favor, ridding their shelves of something that would have never been purchased if I had been there instead of her. I have Stray, one more if I may. When Daddy carried the corpse from behind the garage, I stood by the back door of our house and watched. There was no apology, just the task of disposing the frozen body, which he carried in one gloved hand. It had been a stray, but I tamed him with food and love. He purred when I pet him, and his eyes closed as if he were smiling. But we had a curfew. When it got dark, he had to go back outside. I tried hiding him under the bed or in my closet, but he always crawled out and lay beside me. It was cold that night when he was shooed outside, but no colder than it had been on all other nights that winter. I don't know how my father disposed of him. In those days, we didn't treat pets like children. Besides, he was a stray. I should have kept my distance. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay, anybody else that I missed on the open? Let me know. Okay, I believe I got everybody. And next up is me, and then Roxanne will conclude the reading. There'll be two poems. One is serious. I'm going to end with the Brevitas cat cruise. So, okay, let me just, please mute if you're not speaking. Thank you. Okay. Suicide. She took her own life because she had no value. Her mother would criticize her for bad grades and sloppy penmanship, even for not liking dolls and dresses. Her father needed extra comfort and told her to keep it quiet, or else. Her hair, body, and clothes became a schoolyard joke, and the teacher hid behind blinders and earplugs. Her college degree, an expensive paper paid by a bank loan, a high price for not fitting in with company culture. She never did get that promotion. Her date slipped something into her drink. She woke up in an alley with clothes ripped, her vagina bleeding. The blame would be hers, not his. Her first miscarriage led to another and another. Or did the rumors of infertility make her feel less than a woman? Her husband grew tired of her, divorced her, took the boys and house as well. The job market more dismal after staying home to raise the kids. Her cancer ate her breasts and uterus. Still hungry, it spread to her intestines. Her attempts to rebuild her life backfired. Even her talents went astray. Her only accomplishment was poverty. Her face, invisible since puberty, became a roadmap to nowhere. And love couldn't find her, or did it forget her name? Her golden years, a list of losses to outnumber her age, but not the pills she had to take. The list could go on. The reason was hers, not ours. Her silent screams were real, and we never paid attention because suicide is a dirty word in an even dirtier world. Who are we to judge and toss the first stone when she is now free and no longer in pain? I'm going to conclude with some brevitas to be. This really happened outside here, outside my window a week ago when they repaired my lovely walkway here and sidewalks of my building. Kitty paws, kitty paw prints. Catitude goes Hollywood on fresh cement. Kitty paw prints. Catitude goes Hollywood on fresh cement. Feline alert. Kitties mark territory on fresh cement. Feline alert. Kitties mark territory on fresh cement. Cats don't care about fresh cement or your sidewalk. Cats don't care about fresh cement or your sidewalk. Meow. Thank you. Let's move on to Roxanne to take it away. Take it away, Roxy.
Hi, you can hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me okay? Okay, let me just get my poem back up. I just had it a minute ago. Okay, so this is one of the poems from my Hitchcock series. They're all abecedarians. And this is called All Aboard Abracadabra. After the Lady Vanishes, Hitchcock, 1938. All aboard, abracadabra. Avalanche, bombs away, begonias, bang your dome, bring on the starry night, concussed and cussing, a child bride calling for your duena, duena, till she envelops you in a field of fresh sky fragrance. Fingers, the fevered forehead, the fogged up plate of glass that reassures you still live and breathe. Gray-haired, gentle lady, her Harris tweed, her Harriman's herbal, her hushaby lullaby, her hymnal humming harmony at her hip, her helping hands that steady yours, instinct or injury's insult, or more likely a station's abrupt interjection jolts your mental journaling with a knowledge of loss. Miss, the English governess, my music teacher, nowhere. Only other passengers politely questioning routes and railmen, strangers surveying timetables, taking tea in the dining car, unimpressionable, vague witnesses, more concerned with whistle stops and weather delays than some woman's wanderings. Wait, her wardrobe on a countess? Quite the wallop. Wheels whirl the world, and you worry the welt on your twin deer heads, mounted on the wall of a famed brain surgeon's office. Hello, that wise ass from last night wakes you mid-wobble, the ethnomusicologist, a winking xenagogue, warm, welcoming, despite your bicephalous nature, both of you now lit like Xmas trees. You yawn, aloud and laudably. Zlon, Zabriz, Zuglo, zip by, indistinguishable from the snow. A flicker of sunlight traces her handiwork upon the window. And charging down the moving corridors you go. Miss Froy, Miss Froy, still unaware you're in a war zone. Thanks, everybody. I have to say it was a fantastic
excuse
reading.
me, I don't think we heard from Caroline. Caroline, I don't think I mentioned your name. Caroline?
Hello, can you hear me now? Yes.
I think
yes,
I'm
great,
sorry
great.
about that.
No, you didn't. And I thought, well, okay, next time. You have time for a sonnet?
Yes.
Okay. I have to find it again now. Okay. It's short because it's only 14 lines. So here we go. Safe haven. This rocky land protects us from the sea, provides a habitation and a farm, gives us a place to live and breathe and be safe from the elements that do us harm. We are enough contented living here that we can put down roots and build a home, safe from the harsh reality of fear, the war that forced our family to roam, far from ancestral lands, from buried bone, from where the sky and soil, taste and smell produced community, and where alone the spirit could conform before the hell of bombs, destruction, greed, despair, and pain, forced emigration. We begin again. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. Sorry about that. This is too much.
That's okay. No
moving
problem.
around here like it's
I
like
appreciate the last minute.
We tried this one. Yeah, I'm so glad I mentioned again.
Postscript.
Yeah, okay. And don't forget, thank you, everybody. Warm Brownstone. Thank you to the Red Wheelbarrow, Claudia Soria, Arthur Russell, Anton Yakolev, my Zoom Meister, Roxanne, the Open Micers, my friends, Brooklyn, everywhere, the universe. At least we're online. We're not. This universe is not acting up. But don't forget to come back next month. We're going to have Margaret Sirocco, Ron Bremer, Jada Gordon. That'll be on June 29th. Put it on your calendar. You'll be here from me after Memorial Day because I got to take a break. Okay. You can all unmute and schmooze. Thank you, Roxanne. Roxy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, here she is. We are done. We made it.
Another wonderful reading. I have to say, Claudia, Arthur, Anton, you guys really knocked it out of the park. And thank you so much for gracing us with your presence and your wonderful poetry today.
So much for having us. So really, really an honor and a pleasure to be here and hearing everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much for everything you're doing.
And the open mic too. Very impressive.
Very
Yeah,
good.
the open mic is always fantastic.
And the new people here, please come back. Just it keeps getting stronger and stronger. And can you imagine if we had like an extra six to 9 people, other regulars? Imagine if they came today.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I'm happy for the last minute signups.
Yeah. And these were great readers. Thank you.
Yeah.
You.
No, it was a
Hey,
terrific
I hope
afternoon.
you'll come back and read the next time. I'm sorry you didn't read at the open today.
Yeah.
Oh, she read. Leah?
She read. She did.
No, Kate.
Leah read.
Kate.
Yeah. I
Kate.
asked her if she wanted to read. She,
Yeah. Okay. No, it was a great way to spend the afternoon. Very, very good readers, really inspiring, and all kinds of different types of poetry too. I really liked it. And Cindy, I missed you.
Oh, thank you.
Look at the caterpillars. She got the
Thank you, Patricia. This was an international day. So thank you. It was incredible to just travel around with everybody's imagery and heart and love and care and some violence. That's okay. You know, you got to have it, I guess. But yeah, so what a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you so much. I will come back.
Thank you
for putting me on.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you all. This was a lot of fun.
Because we loved you at Billy Brown's.
Thank you. Yes, I made it to that one. I had to cancel several times with him just because of a loss in my family and in my heart. And he was so kind. I said, I will make it for the feature. Thank you.
He's a good guy. I really liked him. I'm so glad I discovered.
Olivia Wu, thank you so much
night.
for coming.
Thank
I hope
you.
you come back, Olivia.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
I could end with a 3-liner since Caroline.
I missed you. Yes.
Absolutely.
I know.
Sure,
You wanna
absolutely.
read?
Can I
Yeah,
do that?
absolutely, Cindy.
Huh?
Please read. Come on.
It's for I think I memorized. It's for the red wheelbarrows. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow. No, it's the blue one that everything depends on. And that's how everyone should
That's
vote.
political.
You better all vote that way too.
Vote blue. Gotta bring the politics in there.
I had to throw that one in.
I love it. I love it. That's the Brevitas, right?
It was in the Brevitas anthology about 10 years ago.
Well, no, it's not remember that.
It's an old poem.
He will. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks everybody from coming. I'm gonna sign us all off. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, afternoon, whatever is left.
And
And we hope to
it's
see you next
4:30
month.
yet.
Thank you all.
Bye. Okay. Bye.
Bye bye everyone.